Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to 365 Days of Love and Miracles with A Course in Miracles. My name is Arlene Geres, and I am so glad that you are here. Please remember to listen right until the very end because we have a special treat for you. And if you enjoyed today's video, please click like and subscribe down below because this helps others to find us on YouTube. Today's lesson is Lesson 90. This is our 10th lesson in Review 2. Let's go ahead and read today's lesson. For this review, we will use these ideas. Review of Lesson 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Let me realize today that the problem is always some form of grievance that I would cherish. Let me also understand that the solution is always a miracle with which I let the grievance be replaced. Today, I would remember the simplicity of salvation by reinforcing the lesson that there is one problem and one solution. The problem is a grievance. The solution is a miracle. And I invite the solution to come to me through my forgiveness of the grievance and my welcome of the miracle that takes its place. Specific applications of this idea might be in these forms. This presents a problem to me which I would have resolved. The miracle behind this grievance will resolve it for me. The answer to this problem is the miracle that it conceals. Let's talk about it. This really simplifies what A Course in Miracles is all about. It is a change in perception from fear to love. It is crossing over the bridge of forgiveness and being able to see whatever was bothering us through eyes of love. It's as simple as that, my friends. Simple, but not easy. It is a daily practice of always recognizing whenever I'm upset for any reason at a person, place, thing, or situation, and especially myself. The answer is to stop what is going on inside of me. What am I upset about? Let me recognize the problem so that it can be solved. When I recognize it, I know what the solution is. When we recognize what the problem is, the solution is as simple as saying to ourselves, this presents a problem to me which I would have resolved. The miracle behind this grievance will resolve it for me. The answer to this problem is the miracle that it conceals. We simply choose one of those mantras and we say it to ourselves over and over again. It will dissolve whatever grievance we might be struggling with. Let's take a look at the review of Lesson 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. I seem to have problems only because I am misusing time. I believe that the problem comes first and time must elapse before it can be worked out. I do not see the problem and the answer is simultaneous in their occurrence. That is because I do not yet realize that God has placed the answer together with the problem so that they cannot be separated by time. The Holy Spirit will teach me this if I let Him, and I will understand it is impossible that I could have a problem which has not been solved already. These forms of the idea will be useful for specific applications. I need not wait for this to be resolved. The answer to this problem is already given me if I accept it. Time cannot separate this problem from its solution. Let's talk about it. I love this message. Let me recognize all my problems have been solved. When I remember that, I don't need to be upset, worried, or anxious about anything. Let me recognize all my problems have been solved. The Course tells us that we think that we have many problems, but we really only have one, and that is our separation from God. When we recognize that that's what causes our anxiety, then we allow ourselves to come back to center. We take the time to be with God. We take the time to build our spiritual muscle. We become more and more practiced at recognizing in the moment when we think that all our problems are already solved. They were solved before we even saw a problem. The solution is always coming home to God. In the world of the ego, we see time as linear. A happens, then B happens, then C happens, then D happens. So if we perceive a problem, we see the problem, then there's going to be some time elapse in which we in our very insufficient human mind are going to play with, what do I do about this? How do I fix it? What's going to happen? I project off into the future of how this problem is going to literally ruin my life. I've been going through that for the last little while with my computer. It has been crashing. The programs aren't working. I'll spend a couple of hours creating the video only to find that it didn't record. That has been a problem for me, my friends. And yet, when I stop and I do these lessons, I am able to relax. I'm able to let go of my perception of the problem. I'm able to recognize that I've been caught up in fear. I'm worried about what this problem is going to mean to me in the future. I'm a few days ahead with these lessons, so I'm never really stuck, but I do get anxious that the day is going to come where you're going to look for a video and it won't be there because my computer wasn't cooperating. When I recognize that God has solved my problem before I even started, then I can stop worrying. I can go into prayer and I can ask God, what solution do you have for me, God? What is your answer? What do you want to see happen? And then the pieces start to fall into place. God makes the way clear, just like He parted the Red Sea. He parts the Red Sea for us every day. But if we're caught up in the busyness of the world, we don't see the solution. The problem and the answer are simultaneous. They happen at exactly the same time. When we stop and go inside and connect with God, we will learn to recognize as soon as we see a problem that it has already been solved. The mantras at the end of today's lesson are very helpful with this. I need not wait for this to be resolved. The answer to this problem is already given me if I will accept it. Time cannot separate this problem from its solution. Let's talk about our practice sessions for today. We're meant to take 10 or 15 minutes first thing in the morning, last thing at night. First thing in the morning, we read and meditate on the review of Lesson 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Last thing, just before we go to sleep, we read and meditate on Lesson 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. And then often through the day, on the hour and often in between, we simply stop and ponder the ideas in review of Lesson 79 in the review of Lesson 80. We choose whichever one most seems to fit the situation that is happening at that moment. In the review of Lesson 79, the three choices are, this presents a problem to me which I would have resolved, or the miracle behind this grievance will resolve it for me, or the answer to this problem is the miracle that it conceals. The three ideas that we are given for the review of Lesson 80 are, I need not wait for this to be resolved. The answer to this problem is already given me if I will accept it. Time cannot separate this problem from its solution. You may want to write these ideas into your phone so that you have them for your quick and easy use throughout the day. Thanks so much for listening right until the end, my friends. If you enjoyed today's video, please share the love. Tell someone about these videos. Encourage them to start at Lesson 1 and only do one lesson a day. Are you ready for our special treat? Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. Have a day of recognizing that our problems are solved as soon as we see them, my friends. I love you.